Welcome back to the Curse of Strahd, everybody. I am your DM for tonight. As always, Daniel or Triple Bastard. Here's my face. I believe this is the first time. Hello.
Hello.
So, last time we left off, the party had just defeated the Lord of Root and Mildew, the final obstacle brought by the Druids of the Black Hand in their attempt to take over the Wizards of Wine Winery. You have rescued 3 Martikov siblings, amongst them Erwin Martikov, your longtime ally and innkeeper back at the town of Vallaki. Strahd, von Zervik himself, the Lord of Barovia, and your enemy. I'll witness your victory and honored you with a Barovian honor cloak. An honor he used to grant soldiers who distinguished themselves on the battlefield back when he was Barovia's general. He also extended his dinner invitation to you, mentioning Ismark, who's staying over at his guest, and that he would like, if possible, to see Ireena your friend and companion. He refers to her, however, as Tatiana, and something away from her. The party is currently on the way out of the winery, and my question is, where would you like to go?
What time of day is it? I forget how long it's been since we were resting. Was this an all-day battle?
I believe you guys rested, and then you had the battle, and then you guys left. So I believe at the moment it is Saturday at noon. So, where would you guys like to go?
Are we going back to Vallaki?
Ireena's going to need to know about this, and we need to check in on her.
Yep.
We need to find out about Lauren as well.
Absolutely, I've been worried about him ever since, but we didn't really have much time to think about it.
Hopefully he's not lost in the woods somewhere with these werewolves.
We shall see.
Bastard.
If you guys have your horses, which means your travel time is indeed halved.
Do we all have horses?
Yes, we have 2 spare horses even.
Okay, sweet.
I came up with a name for my second horse, guys.
1, 2.
You want to know what the name is?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm going to name this one Glue.
You can name my first one Glue because his dad is Glue.
Mine is too. God damn werewolves.
Alrighty. Oop, that was supposed to be the GM.
What does it mean?
These guys all get candy! Look under your horses. There's 1,000 gold there.
I'm adding it right now.
No, wait, that was a joke.
All right, we got it recorded now. 1,000 gold.
As you guys traveling through, riding your horses, Fisk, you feel a stir in your mind, and your massive mane of hair flares out behind you. You feel incredible tension coming out from the spear of beasts. Something nearby. The east.
Something approaches from the east.
approaching. Aware of us.
I look.
Right. Give me a perception.
What's approaching, Fisk? What do you see?
Don't know.
Maybe we should get off the road for a moment.
Feel a feeling of strange nausea at the pit of your stomach, Fist, because you're looking in the direction indicated to you by the spear of beasts, seeing nothing. And then you smell it. What's that noise? I keep hearing like a tuck, 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 tuck.
I forget I'm not on push to talk and I'm ADD and tapping on shit. I'll try to cut that out. Sorry.
No, I thought it was like a Zoom. I thought it was like a Zoom
Was
thing
wondering,
coming from
man.
outside. No worries, man. No, me too. Right. And then you smell it, Fisk. Your nose is pretty damn sharp. The now all too familiar smell. Decay. If the spear of beasts had fur or spines, you swear you would feel its hackles in your hand. It's positively vibrating with something between excitement, disgust.
Given this feeling, I get the sense this is fiend.
From what you
And
know about the
smell.
spear of beasts and his hatred, yeah, you do.
As I'm watching Fisk get all puffed up and stare into the darkness, I want to position myself with the party between me and whatever he's looking at, just in case something charges us. I'm behind everybody.
Fiend.
How far away?
You guys can hear this. It's approaching closer. You guys can now. All of you can hear something scraping, like as if the sound of something being dragged along the ground.
Can I
Do we
see
run?
anything?
I'm pointing to the direction that I was
It's like-
so everybody knows like where this thing is coming from.
Is the grass being disturbed anywhere?
With the mists, how far can we see?
The mists are not too bad. You guys can see about 60 feet ahead.
Well, it's
Okay.
not within 60 feet. All right.
It's coming from the east, and a foam does begin to emerge from the trees. You guys can see what seems to be a man, or at least humanoid in shape, his face hidden beneath a mask.
A mask?
Sorry, not a mask, a hat.
Oh, okay.
I was thinking of like one of those like pointy hats that you can go forward.
All right.
Behind him, he's dragging a large, rusty blade. You can see that his eyes are like 2 points of red in the darkness, and he's now close enough for you to see what he looks like. Let me make his token a little bit bigger.
Oh, that's creepy as fuck.
So, are we walking towards this thing?
He's in our path.
He is approaching from the woods from the east.
Okay. Oh,
And you guys should now be able to see his handsome token on roll 20.
oh yeah.
Right.
I need
Did
his
you-
skincare routine immediately.
Okay. Okay. He's coming out of the woods. Can we ride past him? Or is he blocking our way?
He's not blocking your way.
Can I do an insight check to see if he's being aggressive or if he's trying to come talk?
Yes.
Or
go
whatever
ahead.
roll.
Yeah,
Is
go
it
ahead.
insight?
Yeah. And yes, technically you could, Tom, but Fisk, you can feel like the spear of beast like practically pointing at him, vibrating, almost struggling to fly out of your hand.
I'd say we make.
It's currently on my back right now as I'm on the horse.
Okay, and then you're feeling it like struggling on your back and it's that.
You see Tarmagen spur his horse up just so that we get past it, or I get past it on the road, so that it's not between me and my destination. Then I rein up and I go put it, I say on this side to everybody.
Good. And what am I gauging here, DM? With the roll?
Since you're a whisper on roll 20. As it approaches the woods, as it approaches the exit from the woods, you guys can see that at the end of its sword, impaled, is a struggling form. It's hissing and spitting. You guys can see what seems to be a young man, half naked. His fingernails are claws. His eyes yellow. His teeth extended, just clawing at the blade, while this fellow seems to be completely unheeding. You guys can see that at the end of the blade there's a sort of cross, and protruding behind the young man's back, as to prevent him from pulling himself off the blade.
State your name. I'm gonna yell across at him. State your name. What are you doing out here?
Garland.
Garland, G-A-L-L-A-N-D.
Garland.
Garland.
Okay. Yeah.
Does that mean anything to me or anybody?
It's a
Go ahead
really
and give me a
famous
history
bad
check.
guy in Final Fantasy.
Okay.
Yes. Tarmagen. Garland the Hunter is the name of a legendary hunter from a children's tale about a young man who, in an effort to win the hand of a princess, vowed to bring the head of a pack of werewolves that was harrying the kingdom day in and day out for 5 years. The story tells how Garland and the werewolf hunted each other across 3 days, across several miles of forest, and that Garland eventually won and cut the werewolf's heads off, which he stuffed in a sack. Garland then proudly came before the king and upending the sack in front of the cheerful king, only for the princess's head to fall out of the sack.
God.
Wow.
So as I see Tarm sort of calculating stare at this guy, I'm gonna look at him. Is this werewolf one of yours? One of your friends?
Look, do I recognize this young man?
I was asking Tarmagen, DM, sorry. If it was
Yeah.
one of our ally werewolves.
Tarmagen, do you recognize him?
What?
Yeah, Tarmagen, you have a pretty good brain for faces. You remember him as one of the werewolves that you guys saw back
Yeah.
at the windmill.
Fuck.
Well, I look and I go, Garland, is it? See if he responds.
God. See him give a half-cocked smile. As he smiles, you can see a Thanks.
Thanks. So you're a lot different than the old stories.
Stories aren't always true, and they don't always end with a happily ever after.
Well, there don't seem to be many happily ever afters in this land.
But if I have something to say about it.
That young man. I don't know what I would call him a friend, but he's an ally.
He looks back to his quarry, impaled and trapped on this blade. You guys can see how the werewolf's generation worked against him in this case, trapping him completely on the blade. He's trying to push himself off, but the pain and the blade is just too cruel. It has the spikes pointing inwards. In fact, Tarmogen, what's everybody's passive perceptions?
Not good.
21.
15.
Yeah, those of you
15.
with a passive perception of 13 above can see that this weapon is actually quite interesting engineering-wise. It seems that there is a series of gears inside the blade which allow the spikes to expand and retract.
How large is this guy?
This guy, Garland himself?
Yeah.
Garland himself is not much taller than Ireena. He doesn't look particularly muscular or anything, so it must be his vampire strength that is allowing him to drag this massive blade along with a whole other person impaled on it.
Okay, so he's got a spear with a person on it and a giant sword.
Your friend. You are friends of this other.
As I said, I don't know if friend's the right word, but allies maybe. We're working on something.
He traces a hand on some of the scars on my cheek. I've tracked this fellow for a year and a half. On his night of transformation, he killed and ate his wife. I was hired by her father to bring him to justice. He's my quarry. And I always bring my quarries to justice.
I kind of hold my hands up. That I understand completely.
So are you just passing through, coincidentally meeting us here?
Just pass. I was
To where?
hoping to pick up some wine.
I say avoid the wine for a little while. Things are ugly there.
I'll check it out later. As to where I'm headed. Kresk.
Kresk.
Is this a city?
Aye. Just a few hours travel.
I say, well, may I have a word with our friend here? Just for a moment?
You can try, but he doesn't seem to be in the talking mood. And that does seem true, Tarmogen. He is in a frenzy. Like, you can see him like trying to transform back to a werewolf form and to a wolf form and back to human. Foam flecks mixed with blood flying everywhere, eyes wild and with frenzy. However, even his wild tantrum on the blade doesn't seem to free him, and in fact, makes the spikes sink deeper.
I looked at him and I go, well, yeah, he won't be of much help. Well, you, my friend Garland, where do your loyalties lie? A smile.
whatever he wants. Myself.
I walk up to him. I go, well, what do you want? What does Garland want?
Is to walk off in that.
Say again?
Walk off in that. I owe a debt in Kresk to the father of the abbey. I intend to pay.
Well, my good man, you have a good day. Safe travels.
Safe travels.
With that, I'm going to mount my horse.
He's going to continue like dragging the fighting prisoner past you and disappears into the forest on the other side.
Well, that was interesting. And
Fisk is talking to the spear of beast this whole time.
Spear is like staying on him, like it's pointing at Garland like the whole time. It's like fighting to escape from your back, almost.
Before all this started, he would have said,
Wait for the others. We will see.
and as things kind of progressed, feeling the tug,
Not all fiends are with time.
Not him. His blade. It was drinking that werewolf's suffering, relishing in it, dancing in it. You cannot see its fall, but I can. It is a vile thing. It passed its stench on so many minds. Scratching the surface far away.
You may run into it again.
I need to bisect that blade in two. It was growing stronger.
well, that may not be the last ugly thing we have to ignore in Vallaki and Barovia. Let us ride to Vallaki. There's much to do. And I spur my horse on down the road.
Alrighty. Alrighty, at 4 o'clock, you guys arrive. 5 o'clock. 6 o'clock. Let's see.
Should we press our horses?
Let's see. Right now, as you guys reach this intersection, suddenly the sounds of land fall quiet. It almost feels like the atmospheric pressure dropped by like 3 levels. Every sound becomes muted and it almost feels like your ears are popping. Then you guys see a massive form flying in over your heads, coming from the sea, coming from the northwest, way above your heads, and flying in this direction. Let's see, I believe that honor him, and everybody with passive perception of 16 and above. You guys will be able to see exactly what it is, even like through like the mist that like is blocking your sight a little bit.
I'm gonna activate my owl eyes tattoo so that I can get an advantage on looking at this thing.
Go. All right. In that case, imagine you two can. You see the form of what seems to be a massive silver dragon. Flying above your heads, it will continue direction. Southeast, from where you guys are.
I look up at the sky, having not seen it because I'm not perspective. The fuck are you people looking at?
You would have heard of it. You would have heard of displacement of massive air displacement.
Okay.
Just looks up at it.
Argenvost.
Hagendoff?
Vost. Argenvost, the Silver Dragon. Sir Godfrey is a knight of the Silver Dragon.
You know, take note of the direction it flies. We may be going there sometime.
Gacus.
Yeah.
Hey guys, which way? North or south?
We already killed those outlaws on the road to the north.
Same way.
I'd say we go the same way. We go north. Yeah.
About 5 p.m. You guys pass here, and you guys can once again see the outline of a tower in front of a lake, towering out of the thick mists.
I'm going to turn my horse, and I want to go just to where we can just barely see, a little bit of clarity of the tower, and maybe camp. We have to camp sometime, so I think we camp right there. So let's go ahead and keep an eye on this tower overnight, since we're here anyway.
I don't know.
Like any place is safe on the road in Barovia at night, at least we'll accomplish something.
Last thing shaped like a tower we went into. We had to murder 3 old witches. We didn't even do that all the way.
Well, it won't be a boring night.
Well, this is close to where we camped before when we had to fight, when we lost Phelorin. Perhaps we could call it camp here again, and if we wanted to sneak in, I think I could help someone sneak in to the tower just to get a closer look without being seen.
It's early. We could sleep and get up in kind of the middle of the night and well rested, under cover of dark, do exactly that. I'm all for that. We're here.
Might as well.
At the very least.
Bad idea, but I'm not going to go sleep in the woods by myself, so we might as well go.
Well, let's sleep anyway and see what we feel like after we rest. We don't have to do anything. Yeah, I'm gonna break. I'm gonna. Once we get to that spot, I can kind of see the tower. I'll look at it very quickly while unpacking and setting up camp.
I think we're going here, DM.
Yeah, no, my roll 20 is just being kind of slow. Loading. Okay, there we go. So you guys want to go closer to the tower. How close are we talking?
Right there.
As you guys approach, you guys can see that there's a land bridge, and the tower kind of stands on a little islet. Islet? Islet?
Islet.
Island.
Islet.
Islet, yeah.
I'd say I'd want to be on the tree line to where we can see the tower. Maybe see if somebody comes in or out of it, but not close enough to, look like a threat.
Well, gentlemen, and Zareen, leave your horses saddled so that we can just depart if we need to.
Are you planning on going there now?
No, but I don't know if that tower is empty. If we have to leave, I want to be able to leave fast.
All right. I'll set up Liam's hut for the evening.
I'll go off a little ways to the shoreline and give myself a quick horse bath to get all the dirt from these plants off of me.
I'm going to join him. I'm going to go get clean.
Yeah. I've been covered in like rot for a fucking day or two.
I'm going to be staring at this water and inspecting and see if I can see anything out of the ordinary about the water or the tower. I want to get a good, decent look from this side.
Be careful. Apparently there's a violent monster that lives in that lake and swallows little children and eats them whole.
Well, good thing I'm not a little child. Hey!
Yeah.
I'll start cooking some rations there.
Yeah.
They go cleanse themselves of their filth.
What's this tower look like from what I can see of it?
You can see this tower seems to have been abandoned for some time. It doesn't look very... It's hard to put a finger on it, but it doesn't look very Barovian in its construction.
Doesn't look...
Oh, Honorim is setting up and camp is being set up. Fisk is going to do like a 500-foot perimeter check.
Alrighty, Fisk, you could give me a reception check. Alrighty, that's an 8. Thank you.
So, really quick side note, DM, did you get my last message about the polymorph rules?
Yes, I did.
So I just have to be aware of it. I don't have to have seen
Yeah,
it.
just have to be aware of it. Like, you just need
Would
to
you
know
say
it
that-
exists. Basically. So, same thing for me.
Okay.
So I'd say you're fine with, like, owls and stuff like that, definitely.
Owls and eagles or whatever. Something I might have heard in the story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Eagle with a great sword.
America!
I'm gonna look at everyone. Do we want to look at what's in this tower, or are we just gonna camp for the night? I just saw Fisk run off, so I'm assuming that's what he's doing.
I kind of reach up out of the nape of my neck. I pull a little spider harvest out, and I go, "You can take a look at things and let us know."
I am seriously depleted and fatigued.
Well, then let's not push any buttons until we have our strength back.
All right.
The last thing I need is a tree attacking me again.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
let Parvis
Both of them
nestle
got
up
took out by that tree.
for his little spider sleep, and I go, "All right, let's let us all rest." I look at the two full elves. I go, "You two, can you take turns on watch? That way we can all get our rest in."
Of course.
I'll go. I'll take first watch.
It's a hell of a day.
Actually, it might be better if I take the first watch. if you don't mind.
Okay.
Out of game, you'll understand why in a second.
Okay.
Yeah.
No problem.
Um,
And I have
Yeah.
the nightmare doll, so I'm going to
Yep.
go in the corner and snuggle up with the nightmare doll, so I don't get it.
I hand the book. I dig out the Strahd's tome. I had it to honor him, and I go, "Can you investigate this in your wizard's way? I'm probably not as good at it as you are. See what you can find out about it." He wanted it back awfully badly.
Yeah, my audio just went out. Sorry if I.
You're good.
I identified it before. I could attempt to read some of it.
Oh, you did identify? All right.
Yeah. It's got a spell of preservation cast upon it. Other than that, it appears to be a somewhat normal book. Although cursed, I would think, given the author.
You guys remember the effect it had on her when we read it for you guys, and just a reminder that the book is legendary.
I put it away. You know, all right, let's sleep. And,
But I do have a spell for that, should we want to read it later.
good. That may be a good thing while we have it if he indeed wants it back. With that, yeah, I'm gonna. Darmington's flakes out in his little safe hut. Snooze.
Is anyone else staying up to take watch with me? Or am I just going solo? I don't care. It's just...
About this time, Fisk is just probably coming back, and he goes and sits next to you,
Alright.
staring at the lake.
Did you find anything?
No.
You are quite the fighter. Have you ever been to the Underdark? Something tells me that you may have traveled pretty far.
What is that?
It's where my people are from. Have you met anyone that looked like me before? Darker skin, bright white hair.
We've never met anyone that looks like us.
Well, if you do find yourself in the Underdark, I think you'd do quite well. I'm trying to learn to fight. Not much of one yet. I wasn't much of a fighter when I lived. The Underdark, massive cities. Have you heard of them? Massive cities of dark elves under the ground in caves.
Have I heard of anything like that, DM? When I was studying?
Not really. Not really. In fact, before meeting her, you've never seen a drow before.
No.
Oh. Well, this is the first time I've seen the surface. I was told it was a dangerous and brutal place, and it seems the stories were true.
This is not on the surface.
I imagine it would be a bit bigger. I've heard stories of something called a sun, and I look up, but I imagine it must not shine all over the surface. It's quite confusing.
The sun is bright. Far.
Have you ever been there?
Can't go.
Okay. Well, they say that the sun is painful, but perhaps I can see it someday. If we could ever get out of this place. But I hope so. I hope so. I escaped running for my life from the Underdark, hoping to find somewhere more peaceful, and it seems I still have some more searching to do. But I suppose in the meantime I will try to be of use and keep some watch. Good night, Mr. Fisk. And then as I walk away, Fisk, you see me. I'm gonna to keep watch, I'm gonna spend 1 sorcery point and use my 4th level spell slot to cast polymorph on myself into a giant owl. The sorcery point I'm using is gonna make it last for 2 hours, and I'm just gonna circle high enough that I can see the party. But also keep an eye on everything around us as I'm keeping watch for the night. And yeah, Fisk, you just see me walk away and just sprout wings and take off into the sky.
Do we roll wisdom saves?
No, you have not. Is there anything anybody else would like to do before completely settling in for the night?
Fisk is probably just gonna stare out at the lake for about an hour or so, just watching it. Before turning to the hut, curling up, doing the 3 circle thing, and laying down.
If I could pull out my book and pen, I'd like to scribe a 1st level spell into my book.
Honorim, as you've now spent a little bit of time like next to the starlight, go ahead and give me an Arcana check. You recognize this as a wizard's traveling tower. This is in fact not a real construction, but a fairly expensive magical item. Some wizards would construct or purchase one. Basically what it is it's literally a wizard's tower you can just pick up and move, as long as you know the magical for it. Seems to have been here for quite some time.
As I'm pulling out my my spell book and it might have been the Alchemist's Tome, to start scribing, I look up at the towers. By the way, that tower is actually a mage's pocket tower that can transport. You can basically put it in your pocket and take it where you wish if you do know the magical word. And I'll go into scribing.
Okay. Remind me, do you need to roll Arcana for scribing?
Nope.
I believe you do.
Just for scrolls. It's a direct copy.
Gotcha. Okay. I'm going to take a really quick break, guys. I just need to hit the washroom, get some water. We'll be back within, let's call it 5 minutes.
Good.
Back, everybody. Let's see those wisdom saving throws, gentlemen.
Oh boy.
Also, while they're doing that really quick, DM, just a point of order. I thought that conversation with Fisk was after everyone went to bed, so I would have polymorphed, so I had 2 hours at the start of my watch.
Gotcha.
Okay. Ah.
Ptarmigan, oh my god, bro.
That's
Poor
10,
bastard.
that's an 8,
Poor bastard.
that's a 26, that's a 22. Obviously, I just need to see. Oh, Varys doesn't need one because he has slow install.
I'm gonna go ahead and roll mine, even though I'm not sleeping until later.
It's basically like, you should.
Should have waited.
Ooh.
I mean, what did it matter? I don't know. How do random number generators work? I don't know.
So glad I took that seat.
Tom, Zareen, the two of you gain a level of exhaustion.
Which I will take after my rest.
Take after your rest. And let me see. Tom. Let's see now. Let me put my notes. Okay. Tomajan. You turn in your sleep over. It's a cold, damp day at the docks, and the shouting of sailors, despite usually being a source of calm ever since your childhood, is now tugging the sleep webs from your eyes. You wake up, finding yourself in an iron cage. It is completely dark all around you. It stinks of piss and mildew. What you thought were the sounds of sailors are just realized now are moans of pain. You see someone. You hear someone dragging themselves through the dark towards you with a wet, dragging noise. A pair of hands clamp onto the cage you're sitting in. You see your father's face. He's been bisected in half, his guts trailing behind him, his eyes glossy with agony. He reaches a hand through the bars to you. What do you do, Tom?
This is my father reaching through, or the person?
Your father.
Confused.
Your father is the person,
Yeah. Gotcha.
Drag themselves.
If my father was this bad, I would have not thought this was right. I back to the far side of the cage as far as I can, just flattening myself kind of in terror away from it.
See his mouth tear itself open in agony as his hand trembles as he tries to reach for you, but then you back away from him. As he says your name, a cloud of flies explodes out of his throat. He can't even scream as he gargles and chokes on the endless torrent flying out of his innards. His hands and limbs batter themselves against the cage until he finally falls down in a massive cloud of flies circles around your cage to start landing all around you, on you. You feel 1,000 tiny bites all around you, Tomajan, in your flesh and your skin. They're digging under, getting in your eyes, your ears, your nose, your mouth. You scream and your mouth filled with biting flies as they pinch off small portions of your tongue. Tomajan, I'd like you to take a level of exhaustion.
I see you've camped in the Everglades.
No, but I've heard stories.
Or you've been to New Zealand?
I grew up next to very, very watery forest. I know about stinging bugs. Let me see. Ooh, Zareen, you are the one.
Yes, but I am going to take my watch first. That was just related.
I know. Zareen,
but that's not. I'm not happy about it.
No, I don't. Zareen, as you fly through the skies. As you're flying through the skies, Zareen. You hear something in the skies, fast approaching, judging by the sound of slicing air. The mist is too thick, even your owl eyes, very much adapted to night vision, all but helpless in the face of the
Okay, so giant owls do have advantage on perception checks for sight or hearing. So could I hear where it's coming from?
Yeah, it's coming from directly in front of you.
I'm gonna dive bomb into the trees. Away from the party. So I want to go for wherever I'm at. I don't want to go near the party, so...
So you can go ahead and give me an acrobatics check as your owl. As you try to aim for the trees.
Okay. Acrobatics?
Yes, as you look around, the mist is so thick. Just so very thick.
So that's a D20 plus my dex modifier?
For your owl's dex modifier, yeah.
Okay, so that's a +2. So let me see if I can figure this out. D20 +2, so 17.
You dive bomb all the way down and manage to hide yourself in the trees. You gain a few scratches here and there, but nothing that bothers you too terribly. Just keep a fearful eye on the sky.
And it didn't follow me?
Soon enough, you see the origin of the sound. A massive silvery dragon. You can see now that you have such much stronger eyes, you can see the sloughing flesh hanging off it, the scales flapping in the wind. You can see it flying away. Its head seems to be shrouded in shadow. And then, sorry, go ahead.
Oh, go ahead. No, go ahead. Good.
And then Zari, as you're looking up at it, it turns its head, looking directly at you, and then you see it slowly careening and changing its course towards you.
Okay. Then, how far away is it from me?
Right now, it seems to be about 90 feet. It's up in the air, coming down diagonally, coming in fast.
And how far am I from the party?
You said you're trying to aim away from the party, so maybe 30, 40 feet.
30, 40 feet? Okay. I'm going to screech as an owl as loud as I can.
Okay. You screech as an owl, as loud as you can. Your screech echoes between the trees, like a lonesome cry of a lost child. You're a massive, as the mass of the undead dragon crashes in front of you, tossing you and the tree and the ground up into the sky. Up is down, down is up, left is right. You are completely disoriented. Zareen, you find yourself flapping in the sky, trying to keep yourself up. I'd like you to give me an initiative.
Oh, cool. Cool. Well, I got a 5. I forgot to select my token, but I got a 5 on initiative. I rolled a 2. Alright, bros.
Good luck, buddy.
Roll character 3.
Would the rest of us had heard that screech?
That's why I was trying to wake everybody up. You guys are going to have to mute your tab because it's going to play through Zoom.
Oh, yeah, I'm hearing like, I'm hearing a thing from everybody.
Yeah, the music just kicked in. Mine's turned down already, though.
It's a 6, just one above yours. Wait, no, that's a 2. He has 14, so that's going to be 5. What's your dexterity, Zareen?
16 plus 3.
16, okay. Happily, you have higher than him. Zareen, you get to shit. Zareen, you get to go first.
Okay. So that sucks because I used a fucking spell to turn into a goddamn eagle. I forgot there was a dragon. So I am. Hang on, I'm just reading the giant owl really quick because I don't know what it does. I just turned into one. Dark vision, 120 feet.
We're about 15 feet off the ground if you wanted to land and face the dragon without.
Yeah, I want to land and drop polymorph.
Okay.
I can't cast spells as a fucking owl, and I don't have a fast enough speed. I don't trust it.
I'm gonna draw a brown line to indicate the ground.
Okay.
I said I'm going to draw a brown line roll 20 if you're going to cooperate with me.
I got a brown line in my underwear.
Ah, there it is. All right, Zareen, you land and you drop polymorph. I believe that's going to be, what did I say, 10 feet?
Well, I would have landed and then dropped polymorph. So.
Okay, yeah, so that's going to be 10 feet of movement and then a free action to drop polymorph, I believe. What would you like to do, Zareen?
My action, I'm going to cast haste on myself. That's my last 3rd level spell.
Okay, you are now hasted.
And for I'm checking to see what's a bonus action. Sorry, is that a bonus action? Nope, that's an action. Okay. For my bonus action, actually, I just cast a spell, so I can't cast another spell as a bonus action. So I'm going to run as fast as I can in the opposite direction.
Okay.
Away from the party. I'm not going to lead a dragon and to kill all my new friends. So.
Okay.
Hey, I've
So
got a
that's
question out of character. In regards to the token, are there really 2 people on the back of this dragon, or is that just the token?
Good question.
That's just a token. I didn't realize there were there. Good eyebrows.
All right, thank you.
Oh wow.
Okay.
I didn't even notice that they were there.
So I got 90 feet per round with hasted action, dash, and movement. I'm going to run
Alrighty.
90 feet away from the party.
Alrighty. Zareen, that's the end of your turn. You ran away.
That's the end of my turn.
Okay. Okay, you zigzag through the trees, and then you look back over your back. You see the dragon has turned its attention towards the encampment.
Fuck.
It begins to take wing and begins to head towards the encampment. You see it preparing to see its insides begin to glow with a pale blue as it begins to charge up its breath. It's going to be on the party's encampment on its next turn. Zareen, go
Okay.
ahead.
So I'm now going to use all of that to go 90 feet back in the other direction since it's all the party. And then how far away am I from the party now?
Right now, you're about 30 feet from it and the dragon. You're like almost directly underneath them right now.
I Misty Step to the party. So I'm right on top of them now.
Okay. You missed a step to the center of the tents.
And then I just want to yell.
You
High pitched,
yell.
like a banshee. Not even a word.
You yell. You see everyone begin to emerge from tents. "Oh, what's all this racket?" you hear Honorim say. And you see them all gaping up at the sky as the dragon arrives. The rest of the party joins you as they prepare for combat.
Is this at the end? Like, how long has Varys been asleep at this point?
For about 3 hours.
Are you sure it's not like 4 hours and 5 minutes?
I'm sure. Alrighty. Zareen, you still have your action.
No, I had to dash back because I had to use my action, but hasted action, movement, and Misty Step to get back to where the party was.
In that case, the dragon arrives. And he's going to breathe down on all of you. Zareen, I'd like a dexterity saving throw. Everybody else too, please. Urgal, you were still on GM layer. GM, yeah, the GM. Alrighty.
Oops, that wasn't supposed to be an advantage, but I guess it doesn't matter.
I got a 13 for the record.
Yeah, because you rolled both. you rolled two.
Yeah, me too.
We are sleeping in the tiny hut, if that matters for this sequence. Which I hope it does.
Zareen, you see the dragon's cold breath washing over all of you. You hear Varys scream as well as Urgal as the cold absolutely bites into them especially harshly. Honorim, that's an acrobatics, but yeah.
That'd be same.
It's the same +2.
Okay, so that's going to be one. Honorim looks especially brutalized by the cold. You see the dragon swirl around, preparing for another run. What do you do, Zoe?
I'm looking at spells.
By the way, anybody who holds under 16 has failed.
Full damage.
Yeah.
I am. Let's see here. How far away is the dragon from me?
30 feet.
30 feet. Okay. Seeing how brutal all that was. Oh, fuck. Yes, okay. I'm gonna spend, I think I'm doing this right when I convert sorcery points to spell slots. So I have 2 sorcery points left. I can cast a 2nd level spell. Is that how that works?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'm gonna spend my last 2 sorcery points to cast suggestion at him. I meant no just. Sorry, go ahead.
It does not seem to affect the undead dragon.
Okay, I'm going to use a free action to fucking panic, and I'm still hasted. So.
Bonus action, panic.
That's a hasted action for sure. For a hasted action, I'm going to, let's see, I can dash. I'm just going to dash towards the tower. Can I see the tower from here? Because I was at the camp.
Yeah, you can see the tower from here.
Okay, I'm going to dash and for my hasted action and my movement to move 60 feet towards the tower, but yelling at the dragon.
Okay. Zareen, as you begin to dash, a piece of gnarled root attempts to entangle your foot. Go ahead and give me a acrobatics check, please. 22. Zareen, you managed to jump over the gnarled root, nearly stumbling as you make it away from the party.
As I end all that movement, I turn and look back at the dragon to see if he's following.
See, the dragon is not following, and in fact, is unleashing another terrible cold breath down on the party. Everybody except Ireena would like another dexterity saving throw, please. That's a fail. That's a pass. That's a fail. Varys. Yes, that's a pass.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Honorum's dead.
You guys see as Honorim and Gorgal are nothing more than frozen statues now.
And Varys.
And Varys. Seems Fisk and Tomjen are the only ones remaining. Zarina, their forms are etched into your mind as the dragon then, seemingly quicker than thought, lands behind you. You turn around to look in its undead eyes, and a blast of unbelievable cold freezes your scream in your throat. Meanwhile, I'd like everybody to roll me Constitution saving throws.
The fuck?
That should be on.
Alrighty. Very nicely done. Let me see. Oops, I didn't mean to do that. Okay.
Is that in my exhausted state? If so, I need to roll again.
How many exhaustion levels do you have, Tom?
Just on one.
No. Saves are not rolled with disadvantage.
Okay, I wasn't sure if that was for ability checks and saves or not. Thank you.
Yeah, no worries. Alrighty. Varys, being the one who needs the least amount of sleep, you wake up first. You are feeling incredibly cold and your breath mists in the air of the tiny hut. You see Zareen standing in the middle of the hut, her eyes rolled up in her head as she continuously exhaling a cold frost Urgal seems to be particularly affected by this.
So she's breathing on Urgal?
On everybody, like this mist, like that just erupting from her mouth is just freezing inside the tiny hut.
Okay, I'm going to jump up and grab Zyrene on both of her shoulders and say, "What's going on? What are you doing? Stop!"
Zareen, you're being being shaken awake. And you blink and you find yourself terribly, terribly cold as you look into Varys's angry eyes. The mist stops coming out of Zareen's mouth.
I'm gonna struggle to get away and just say, "There's a dragon! There's a dragon! There's a dragon!" and sort of crouch down.
Varys is going to just instinctively to protect the party, and Zyrene and everyone involved is going to spin her around and kind of put her in a hold, and then yell at the whole party for them to wake up so we can get a sit rep. So wake up, everybody! Help!
I think Zarene's too freaked out to resist. So,
Right. You guys hear Varys's panicked yelling.
So did we take no actual damage?
That's right.
So did we take damage or not? Because
Nope.
Okay. Making sure I'm not dead right now.
No. It seems.
good news, you're not dead.
Good news, you're not dead. And also good news, almost all of you passed the Constitution save.
This jumps up, looks to Zareen, and just holds out his hand and says, "Come." And then I look to Varys, and I slowly start to stand up.
Let her go slowly.
Varys will just ease off, and then he'll raise up his hands.
Just kind of watching, and I kind of move over towards the door of the hut.
And then I'm gonna, seeing everybody up, coming to my senses, I'm gonna tell. I just look at Fisk and you saw me. I polymorphed into the owl. I was keeping watch. A dragon attacked. I tried to dodge, and then I saw you.
We are here.
Get a hold of yourself, sorceress. And I'll eat up the interior of the dome.
Frost
Look at
that is
Zareen.
building up on all of you begins to melt away as you're turning up the heat there on him. Like you guys can see, like, you know, the possessions are somewhat damp now, and the clothes are too, but
Okay. I'm back.
It seems that Varys woke up just in time to shake Zareen out of it.
All the dreams here are bad, and apparently on the bad ones, we all know them. I had a horrid one too.
Okay, sorry guys. Hotel time me out. I'm gonna look at Tarm and say, but I wasn't dreaming. Fisk saw me turn into the owl. I was keeping watch. All of a sudden, the dragon. I saw the dragon while I was awake. I haven't slept.
I go, the barrier between dream and nightmare, or nightmare and wake, is just that thin here.
I fucking hate this place. I'm going to sleep.
And we've all
Me
had
too.
nightmares before, but they've never caused frost to come out of our mouths. This might not be quite the same.
I was flying as I'm already laying in my cot and I talk over my shoulder. This is the first time I've polymorphed, and I was flying pretty high to keep watch. Perhaps it was just consuming the mists and then interacted with the magic. I don't know.
I just roll back and go, just fucking Barovia. Everything sucks. I go back, finishing some sleepy time.
Just slowly goes back to all fours. Kind of does a pass around Varus' legs.
You did well. We will watch her.
And I go and sit next to Zareen. Just kind of putting my back up against her. Just a low purr. And I'm just watching out of the hut.
And with that, I'm just going to let myself go off into sleep, trusting the rest of the party is going to take over the rest of the watch's doom. And I get that natural 1 for my for the sleep. So I take a point of exhaustion, right?
Yes, you do.
Okay.
Okay. With that, morning arrives. Today is, let me see. Today is Sunday morning. Guys see that the mist is particularly easy today. As you eat breakfast.
Harris is going to ask Honorum. He's going to say, yesterday you said this was some kind of wizard tower that can just be put in your pocket. I don't really understand. Why is it here, or what's it for?
Well, oftentimes mages travel out and about in something a little more comfortable than the hut that I've created. Greater wizards are able to basically create these pocket dimensions, basically. And I'll look it up and down. Did you say it looked decrepit or just out of the architecture was different from Barovia?
Both. It's less. It has definite. Go ahead and give me an. You know what? I'm not going to be asked for passive perception. It looks like a wizard's tower that has seen, that has braved an attack. It doesn't look as if it's been abandoned to the sands of time for a long time. It looks like it maybe has been here for a few years.
I'll repeat that, and I must say I am intrigued.
It's not empty, right? This is Barovia.
I would personally hope it wouldn't be, but that is my opinion. I know we are on a time crunch, so
I'm gonna put all my gear away, be dressed and ready. I'm gonna go ahead and pack up the horse. So camp is, let's break this camp completely down. And as I finish up, I'm walking over to that little ridge, or the little bridge, kind of looking at that tower.
Tarmogen, is that your second? You have at least 2 levels of exhaustion?
Just one.
Just one? Oh. I'm just going to walk. I have 2 levels now, so I'm going to walk with you as you go that way. Looking terrible, I'm going to look at you and just say, you look like shit.
I say, well, unfortunately, you look worse. Let's keep you behind everybody. I can offset this a little bit. You need to stay back. We're just looking for now.
And I'll cast guidance on Ptarmigan and step back.
And
Also, Dan, I had a question for you that I put into GM.
Okay.
I do happen to recall that Bassoon had mentioned a mage's tower in his discussions with us early on, although if this is the mage's tower he was telling us to go seek. And I shrugged.
wasn't there something in one of the cards as well about a tower? Or am I remembering incorrectly? Tarjan whips out his little notebook. Keeps his notes. No. No, not in the cards. Okay. I look at Fisk. I say, my friend Fisk, can you see if you smell the sign of anyone coming or going here? And I'm going to start looking for tracks very carefully along this little road or thin section of peninsula, kind of.
Go ahead and call me investigation. I'm just going to grab my water bottle really quick.
No problem. Now, guidance gives advantage, right?
No, it's a 1d4. I'll ping
Okay,
it.
okay,
It's only for 1 minute anyways, but
Yeah.
it's just a cantrip.
Gotcha. No problem.
I'm gonna
Bardic inspiration.
Um,
I'm gonna start doing the sweep then. I'm gonna start zigzagging along.
I've got something else I can do, but I'll do it later on one that's maybe more important.
With my nose to the ground.
What?
I'm gonna start doing a sweep back and forth with my nose to the ground, seeing what I can smell.
Okay, go ahead and give me an investigation as well, please.
All right. Ooh, that's worth it. I have a +9 on investigation. It's insane.
Yeah.
Great. All right, so Fisk and Tomjin, you guys do both find footprints. It seems that somebody indeed has been coming and going to this tower. Footprints seem to be fairly small, not like that of a child, but more like that of a woman.
So I was
also
trying to
see some bare footprints here and there. About
Bear?
10 or 11 in number.
So I was trying to pick up a smell. Do I pick up a smell of this woman? He was looking for tracks. I was trying to pick up some kind of a scent.
Yeah, you do get a bit. There's definitely a bit of a smell, a bit of an unpleasant smell in some of the tracks. But the one seem to be made particularly by a woman wearing boots. Yeah, she does seem to have a sort of a herby smell. It's hard to quite put your finger on it.
And just to clarify, did you say there were bear tracks as well, or bare footprints?
Yeah,
barefoot tracks.
Yeah.
Big difference. Making sure I understood.
Yeah, no worries, no worries.
Okay. Here we go. I see one person maybe coming and going. A woman. Do you concur?
Yes. There's.
I'm going to get closer to the tower, see what it looks like up close.
Alrighty, up close, it's you've seen a few Wizard's Tower in your day, mostly from the outside. maybe a couple from the inside. This seems to be it's hard to tell. You've heard stories of, from the outside it seems to be 3 levels, although you've heard sometimes that there are hidden rooms and that the towers are bigger on the inside than the outside. And other sorts of mischief like that.
I'm padding along next to Tarmogen as close as you can.
Well,
I'm following, of course.
I'm going to go up and knock on the door. So I kind of look at her, but I go, hold my hand up like I'm about to knock, and I go, let's see if anybody's home. Pause in case anybody wants to yell no.
I lean next to a Norm. And I say, we're probably all going to die.
It's inevitable. It's just the when, which is the main question.
Right. I'm only 24. I could live for hundreds of more years. These fools are going to get me killed.
I'm a mage. I could too.
As Fisk sees him raise his hand to knock, he puts a hand on his, on his waist.
I'll look at him.
Perhaps we wait. Come back. See if tracks are different. We must return to Vallaki. We don't know what's here.
Doesn't seem to be going anywhere. I look at everybody else. Agreed?
Yes.
Zorane's just staring at you through matted, nasty hair, just exhausted.
Look at it, Zorane. He's like,
Sweeping down.
okay, let's go home.
So you do not knock.
I do not knock.
Okay.
I do, however, take out a sheet of parchment, real quick, just jot a note. Gray Company was here. Too busy to stop. Hope to see you soon. And I put that on the door.
Okay.
That's it.
You put that on the door, and as you and as you put that on the door, you see the note starts to kind of shuffle along until it reaches the space where the 2 doors meet, and then and then the note gets sucked in between the space of the 2 doors.
Oh.
Kind of look at it curiously. Go, well, that's handy. And if nothing happens, I head back to my horse, but I'll pause there a moment, giving something a chance to happen.
At the moment, doesn't seem that anything chases after you or screams or explodes. As far as you can tell, that's the only thing that happens as a result.
Well, that's a first in Barovia.
I go, yeah, didn't try and kill us. Let's leave it as is.
We touched it. It didn't blow up.
You remember your master using a similar sort of automated thing. When he wasn't in the mood of getting packages, he'd simply set your tower's unseen servant to just automatically take any note or packages inside.
Someday.
Mount up. Head out.
Right.
Curl up on the back of Banris.
Okay, let me see. You guys had breakfast and had fun with the tower, so that's going to be 9. Let's call it 10.
As we're riding, DM, I'm going to let my horse go back till I'm next to Varys and say, I appreciate that you were only trying to help, but don't ever touch me again. And then I'm going to use, as I drive away, I'm going to use minor illusion to put a mustache on him and just keep going. Because my little sister did that to me when she was 3 and I was asleep on the couch. So.
Amazing. Alrighty. Varys, you, for a couple of moments, there's a mustache in your face until, you move through it, and there's a mustache just hanging forlornly, abandoned in the air, getting further and further. 1 second, guys. My dad's calling me. Let me just let him know I'm walking. Hi, Abale.
Today's word is nope.
Sorry about that, guys. Today's word is all right. It gives me more opportunity to put higher CR stuff in the. No, okay. Alrighty. All right. As you guys reach the bridge, you guys see a familiar form. Standing on the bridge. You guys see Sir Godfrey Gwillem, the party's ally, the undead ex-paladin of the Order of the Silver Dragon, who's patron.
It's been so long on this campaign. Has Zareen met him before?
At the vampire battle.
Yeah,
the vampire battle.
Him briefly during the vampire battle.
Okay.
Fine.
First Argenvost, and today you, Sir Godfrey. Well met once again.
Well met. And it is no mistake that it is me you see today. I, too, saw Argenvost tear through the skies. It is why I am here now.
I dismount and walk up to him. Do you have any idea what it means?
He looks in the direction of Mount Gacchus, towards the southwest. There's a strange look in his eye, and you can see what his jaw clenches, making his already taut skin even tighter. Those of you who forgot what he looks like, here is Sir Godfrey.
He's your buddy.
Very handsome.
Very handsome. These are good looks. Even on death, he's still handsome. Alrighty. It is disquieting that the bastard Strahd would have him fly somewhere. It means he needed his power to perform some sort of task. That, at least, would be my guess. Either that, or he simply wanted to remind us all what he did to a noble creature.
I look at him and I go, Godfrey, my friend, there seems to be much stirring in Barovia. I'm not sure what to make of it. Tarmagen raises his finger and goes, yes, I remember something. I reach into my pouch. I kind of pull out that Nothic eye. I look at him and I say, there is a city overrun with the dead. And in it is where I can destroy this. Do you know of such a place?
City overrun with the dead.
I'm thinking which one in Barovia, but I don't know.
Nuts. Both Perez and Radvolt would fit that description, as well as my former home of Argenvostold. Although, of the two, I would say Perez would fit the profile more, as Radvolt still has living in it.
Well, is there anything we can help with that will help you, Sir Godfrey? You've been tremendously helpful for us.
I still await you to fulfill your promise to help me free my brothers and Argenvost.
Which way and how far is Argenvost?
Vost and my brothers are in Argenvostold. He points. Several
I'm getting a
hours
lot of
out,
background
and
noise
up
from
the
somebody.
trail to Mount Gacchus. Our monastery was at the top. My brothers are all insane. There is no saving them anymore. And Argenvost has been defiled and raised again.
And Perez is that way.
It seems.
So, well,
I have also heard a disturbing rumor. It seems a great horde of undead is traveling through the southern portions of Barovia. Beware not to find yourself trapped in this forest of hands and teeth.
well, I appreciate the information. By the way, the walking trees are dead. We took care of them.
Seems genuinely pleased at this news.
The Wizard of Wines did fall, but it will rise again now.
One thing I am glad of is that I do not need to sleep. I cannot imagine.
I can tell you from personal experience, it's horrific. And I just kind of look over at Zareen, looking just haggard and miserable. And she would agree.
I do miss wines, though.
Sir Godfrey, that dragon flying through the sky, you knew him.
Yes, young one. Back when I lived, Argenvost led us all into Barovia so long ago now, in pursuit of a holy mission from the god of the sun. Argenvost led us here, and we established a temple monastery. We fought the forces of darkness for 20 years. We protected the people of this land We thought, foolishly, that we were making a difference. Hordes of undead and monsters fell by our hands. And our hope was strong. And then, one night, Strahd himself walked into our midst. It was a massacre. Our most seasoned paladins fell to him like they were no more than novices. Our holy light shattered against his skin, and he laughed as we impotently invoked the names of gods and vows. I remember what he did to Argynvost himself. As Argynvost stood against him, the monster simply chortled in the face of our master's breath. And he beat him to death with his bare hands over the course of hours, savoring Argynvost's pain. He then invoked a dark spell, sloughing off the flesh from Argynvost's head, and then bidding the corpses of our novitiate to rise. He made the bodies mash themselves onto Argynvost's skull, making him a new head made from the flesh of my former brothers.
How do we save him?
How do we save him?
How do we set him free?
Killing him. Taking apart his body. I've read of Draco Liches in the past. It would take him at least a month to rise again. Chris, that's mean.
Go dark sometimes. I like it. Just making sure.
Hey, I did
Sorry.
warn you.
It's awesome. It's awesome. Oh no, I am not complaining. Just making sure.
No, I gotcha. Also, John, as you can see, yes, I did read and love Berserk.
Yeah.
Oh, I was talking about a message in GM, but yes, I believe that.
Where was I?
No,
message
sorry. I didn't mean to
wasn't-
distract.
No,
you.
I'm
Sorry.
just joking. I'm just joking.
Yeah.
Godfrey speaks again. The only way to put him down permanently is to destroy his trapped soul, to free it once again. Strahd has Argynvost's real skull as a trophy in Castle Ravenloft. I've attempted to gain entry many, many times, but if the Lord of the Land does not desire you there, there's simply
Put my hand.
nothing you can do.
Put my hand on his shoulder.
Materialize.
I go, don't worry. I'll be in there within a night or two. I smile at him.
He narrows his eyes. Do not speak in riddles to me. What do you mean?
I'm having dinner with him. We all are.
You have taken leave of your senses, then I see. The darkness of Barovia has claimed you as well. He sighs as he begins to unsheath his greatsword.
I go, Sir Godfrey,
Oh.
face to face, we've seen what happens when we face Strahd. He has killed everyone that's tried. I need to be close to him if I want to kill him. I need to be very close to him.
Had me worried there for a second. He shifts his massive greatsword back. I admit it would have sat unwell with me to have put you down. You would not have been the first, but I am quite fond of all of you.
I look at him and I go, speaking of which, I have to appear close to Strahd. View me with patience. But if I do cross the line, put me down.
Beware. He is a master manipulator. He
Speaking of that,
is well versed in detecting lies, and his senses help him detect them as well.
That's
Be
why I smile.
Careful.
I smile and I go, that's the thing. I'm going to tell him the truth.
I am a much more direct man than you. If subterfuge is called for, then I leave it up to you.
Wish me luck.
Good luck to you all, and may silver gild your path.
Bow to him and thank him.
Godfrey reassumes his guardian pose as you guys continue on your way to Vallaki, arriving there at around, I think, 11 a.m.
as we were walking away from him on the bridge,
Uh-huh.
I wanted to look back and say, by the way, do you know of a hunter named Garland?
Garland.
We met another very odd-looking fellow out here hunting werewolves. Just thought I'd let you know.
I've run into the fellow before. Crossed blades with him more than once as well. He is mad. Beware.
And do you know of the Abbey?
He spits something black onto the ground. Traitorous filth, speak to me not of the Abbey of Kresk.
I meant no offense, sir. He's simply asking.
He grunts.
This gets closer. Hearing all of this, showing interest.
We sensed a blade. A blade it used. Not of this world.
Something filthy.
Yes.
Garland is old and very powerful. All the times that we've crossed blades, I ended up dismembered. He is dangerous. Beware.
Vallaki.
And with that, you guys.
I just slowly turn around, start walking toward Vallaki.
With that, you guys are recognized by the guards. And let me just get you. Ooh, I can't get the music on the roll 20. I'm gonna have to find new music. Don.
As with a sense of humor, as we walk by the guards, Zareen's gonna give like a sort of mocking salute because technically I'm outside of their command structure. But I'm just like,
yeah, like one of them kind of like just kind of like and then the other one returns it. The gate is open for you guys and then immediately closed afterwards. You guys do not get searched for silver. As, that commandment is gone and done with. And you guys find yourself back in the city of Vallaki. The city has had a little bit more time ever since the tragedy of the rising sun.
As we approach, do we see the beginnings of a wall extension to the city?
Technically you can't see it from that side, but you know what? Yeah, you guys do. I'll say that you guys can. We'll have to work on finding a suitable replacement. Sorry guys, I didn't think about it.
Oh, no worries. It's when you affect the landscape, it's kind of hard to predict.
I guess like for now, I'm just going to do this in the map layer, like you guys can see. A wall extension being made.
Nice.
There's a lot of guards there too. Okay.
hey, fun callback here. The last session before I stepped away for a couple months, Zareen had commissioned some like dark Barovian style traveling clothes and never picked them up with the guy who was a conspiracy theorist. Did we ever go back there?
No,
I was gonna bring
conspiracy theorist. I think you mean speaker of the truth.
I'm sorry. I want to. Yeah.
I'll say you definitely would have had time like to pick them up. Yeah.
Okay. What was his name again?
Ooh. I'm not
Speaker
sure.
of the truth.
Yeah.
I know I gave him a different name in a couple of other places. I'm not sure. So I want to say Kalashnikov, but
Okay.
that might not be it.
And what was his? I just wanted to bring Fisk there, but at some point. But that's fine. I'll just take the cloaks and put it in my inventory. But he was just a general goods store.
Just a reminder that you guys do still have that deal with the hags.
Oh yeah.
On as well. Just a reminder.
To the church.
Yeah.
Yep. We are riding immediately to the church. And seeing the looks of the town, and as always, I'm watching for that sneaky little bastard that keeps tailing us.
Right. As you guys arrive in the town and head to the church. Ooh, okay. Oh, no, okay. Sorry, guys. Technical difficulties. Roll 20 is not happy.
Can we take a short break while you reload that?
Yeah. Go ahead. Let's go ahead and
Oh,
take
cool.
a short break while I'll give Roll 20 some time to recuperate.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Whew.
Okay, so things are all right.
Everything's okay? Good. I'm going to switch back to my other account. Hang on. We start recording and Kevin has to jump images.
Real quick, to finish that story, Adam, I know you got the tools. Just take down their fence at night when nobody's looking and salvage all that wood. Don't say anything.
I look forward to the YouTube videos of the hateful neighbors.
Your
Oh,
fence bunch of Arabian.
as tempting
We
as
go.
that
We
is.
going full libertarian here? Hell yeah!
No, I'm just
Hell
saying,
yeah!
As
take their fence wood, build a wicker man in their front yard, set it on fire.
Just make sure the wicker man's arms aren't like in a T-pose. That you're
Yeah.
not wearing a white hoodie.
Yeah.
Okay, everybody good to go?
Good to go.
Back.
Alrighty. By the way, guys, thank you for being patient on that. It was pretty
No
big
worries.
cosmic.
All good, dude.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Okay. As you guys enter the Church of Saint Andral, you find the church is currently empty, except for Mother Lucia at the end. She's kneeling next to the dais, and you can hear she's praying in Barovian. And back to you. She doesn't seem to notice that you guys have entered.
I'm just gonna sit in the pew in the back and lay down.
Oh, I'm not making any noise. I just kind of quietly walk up to the front row of pews, and I'm going to sit and see if she pauses at any point.
On on Honorim's pointed calf, Mother Lucia finishes her prayer. She glances behind her, and a great smile breaks on her face. You've done it.
Well,
You've done what
I've done one
was
thing.
impossible, and I have the heart now. I am preparing to begin the ritual. Bassoon is downstairs.
how is Bassoon?
He's not well. The day after you've left, he stopped opening his eyes. I'm afraid he would have had maybe 3-4 days after that. But now we can try.
Oh. And did word of the wine being poisoned and what happened at the winery get here?
Yes. I've already informed Mr. Ireena. Sorry, Bogo, Mr. Ireena. Still getting used to that. And she's sending wards to the other towns. Guards, Mr. Isaac has put guards, and they are on the lookout for these tampered shipments.
Perfect. How long will you need the heart to do what you need to do?
I am not sure. I've never done anything like this.
Tell us as soon as you know. It has to get back to the Wizard of Wines. The winery fell, but we pulled it back.
Her face is very serious. Of course. If I'm honest, I am ready now. I was simply preparing myself mentally.
If there's anything we can do to help, simply ask.
Would you like to come with me and witness this?
Yeah.
Just in case.
Go revive that old half-orc bastard.
I sit up in here I think I would like to see this. I've never seen healing done at this level before.
I absolutely would. And I thank you for letting us watch.
With a grunt of effort, she gets up to her knees. She has to use the dais for support. She's not a spring chicken. Then please follow me. Let us witness the morning lords in glory together. As, she leads you to the side statue here that you guys saw her use before, like to go down into the lower level of the church. Let me grab you guys. Okay. Mother Lucia depresses the hand on the statue. And it with a grating on the floor, it slides back, revealing a staircase going downstairs. Let me zoom out and get you in there, Olga. Who am I missing? I'm missing
Zareen.
Yeah, it's all black for me. I tried refreshing, but
There you are.
Hey,
I got it now. Thank.
What's up?
Oh, saying I got it now.
Okay. Right. Mother Lucia leads you into the catacombs of the Church of St. Angel as the echoes feel muted. You guys see Bassoon shirtless. The wound in his side looks truly, truly awful. I've done what I can, but it stopped responding to my magic. I believe this is the last hope we have. I hope my abilities will stand equal, and I hope we've not waited for too long.
Would you object if I tried to? Would you object if I tried to help? I think I could give a little bit of aid to both of you. Perhaps bring out your own innate strength.
If there's anything you think you can help me with, child, I would happily welcome it.
So when she starts the ritual, I'm going to spend a sorcery point to twin cast guidance on both her and Bassoon.
Okay.
And there'll just be this lavender energy pouring out of my hands, almost like smoke, into both of them.
I like that.
what do you think's gonna happen, Arthur?
Okay.
No chances. Making sure.
So yeah, I'll hold that, and as soon as she starts the ritual, I'm going to back away.
Okay. Ooh, okay.
stand back to help her if she needs it.
She retrieves the wizard's heart.
Fisk is gonna walk up to her and pull out the wand to cure wounds and look at it and hand it to her.
Thank you, Fisk.
And back up again.
I will now begin. She begins to ascend the steps and begins chanting. Kol nidrei ben lekal. Kol nidrei ben lekal. Kol nidrei ben lekal. You guys see as the wizard's heart begins to glow red, painting Mother Lucia and Bassoon in its blood red light. Kol nidrei ben lekal adom. Kol nidrei ben lekal adom. The glow gets more and more intense. Those of you who are close to her can see she's starting to sweat, and she furrows her brow as winds begin to pick up, emerging from her. At the same time, it sounds like a small scream is coming from within Bassoon himself. Kol nidrei ben lekal adom. Kol nidrei ben lekal adom. Kol nidrei ben lekal adom. The light gets more intense and more rich, beginning to take on a darker and darker form as it begins to pulsate through the chamber. Tarmagen and Urgal, I'd like you guys to roll me strength saving throws as the wind is getting so strong that it's starting to physically move you. Tarmagen, you are hurled back several feet. Urgal, you as well. Mother Lucia is like down on one knee now as she plants her hand on Bassoon's wound. And she's practically shouting now. Kol nidre ben leka adom. Kol nidre ben leka adom. The light now completely washes over the chamber. You guys see it starts to redden. The winds begin to die down. And the aura lessens and lessens and lessens, losing intensity until it dies down completely. Mother Lucia is on her knees, one hand on Bassoon's wound, head down. The only noise that can currently be heard in the chamber are your breaths and the sound of her sweat dripping to the cold stone stairs.
Did it work? Take a step up the stairs and look.
For a moment, Talmadge, your heart stops in your chest. It doesn't seem like Mother Lucia's breathing. But then, as you help her move out, you see she seems to have aged by 20 years. The light shade of gray is completely gone now from her hair, and it is pure white and much more brittle and thin than what you remember. Black bags are under her eyes, which were so bright before, now seem to be a little bit more roomy. Her hands, she's shaking like a leaf in your arms, and she can't help but lean on you. It certainly seems like this took quite a lot from her.
I look at her and I said, I'm sorry, I had no idea it would be so costly.
She seems to be a little bit delirious at the moment and does not reply. You guys, Ogle, you feel this first. A rumbling. It feels like the altar is shaking. You see flames begin to lick out around Bassoon's body. With a sound, with a building roar, starting deep in his chest and echoing out into the catacomb. Bassoon opens his eyes and straightens. You see as fire is pouring from his mouth, his eyes, his hands. You see as the hole in his side is now, it looks like it's been burned shut. And though the skin there looks red and angry and covered in flames, you no longer see the black-green edges of it that looked so sickly before. Bassoon looks wildly around as the flames around him begin to die down. And Mother Lucia's eyes focus and she manages a weak smile. Looks like I did it. Looks like I did it.
Let's get you somewhere where you can rest.
Oh,
And of course you did it. And
Welcome back, brother.
Oh, I'm back. I'm me. He seems hardly able to contain his strength, and truly Bassoon looks the completely opposite effect has come over him that have come over Mother Lucia. Like, whereas she looks like she aged, he looks much younger, stronger. His chest and back filled out. The color has returned to his skin, like his face is no longer sallow and weak, but just overflowing with energy. It looks like he might explode with flames all over again. You've brought me back. He goes like to just grab Mother Lucia from you, Tarmagen, and then stops himself, realizing what state she's in. All right.
I look at him and I go,
Okay, make sure
Yeah.
she gets first. Thank you.
I look at him and I go, I know you will, but earn this. And I go to help and start walking her out.
I intend to. Mother Lucia, yeah.
Yeah.
Guys see him just looking down at his own hands, grinning, and making fists. I'm whole again. I'm whole again.
Maybe we should have a little sparring match once you calm down a little bit.
You are on. He jumps off the stairs. Well, I think I should probably get a shirt on. You know what I'm going to really enjoy? Not having to change a shirt 3 times a damn day because pus is soaking into it.
Yeah, we're gonna have to get you a whole new wardrobe.
Kind of look over my shoulder.
I'm alive. I'm alive. God damn it. Oh. By Grumsh's flames, I'm alive. Let's get out of here. I need to get some fresh air. It's almost like a child that hasn't been to sun. He takes the stairs 4 at a time. Thunk, thunk, thunk. You guys hear him thundering upstairs. And bursting out into laughter. Just giddy with it.
As Mother Lucia walks by me, I just want to look at her and just say, how? I've never seen something that powerful before.
It is not me, child. It is this. There is a terrific life force hidden within this heart. Using it, however, is dangerous. It almost burned me out. I think I need to rest.
Yes, you do.
She closes her eyes as you guys are carrying her upstairs. I'm going to move you guys upstairs.
Okay.
Just pushes right on all fours, just pushes right between her legs and kind of bumps her onto his back and just carries her up.
Standing here, now clad, not yet clad with a shirt. Since we're waiting for you guys. As you guys bring Alicia, she pats you on the back. I think I can handle it from here. Yes. Well, Bassoon, my dear. He turns to her with a full smile, showing his tusks, which are fairly small for an orc, half-orc even. It looks like you don't need me anymore. Not at all, Mother Lucia, please. I owe you my life. I owe all of you my life. Anything that any of you ever need from me, anything at all. You want to go charge that damn castle again? I'm with you. Only this time, I know to expect a damn elf.
Very soon.
Hell yes.
Smile, and I'm going to go, you can count on it. Be patient.
I just want to pick you up, like Tamajan, like picks you up and like fucking. He's just so excited. Tamajan, you feel your ribs kick a little. Now that he's full juice again. This is definitely someone who is quite strong in terms of physical being. Is very solid. It's like being pressed against a fucking car tire. Sorry.
I go, you're terrifying, but smiling.
All right. I'm going to get myself a shot, and then I'm going to get myself food until I pass out, and then I'm going to get myself a sword. It's a damn shame you couldn't find my stuff, but
We're not done.
oh well. At least now I can go and look for it myself. I'm going to go demolish somebody's kitchen. Probably the Blue Water. I'll see you guys later. Whoa! And you, brother. Find me there later, huh? You owe me a sparring match. He doesn't wait for your answer and laughing as he just excitedly almost canters out of the church, bursting with energy.
Hell yeah.
Alrighty. Reminds me of Milevoy when he was younger, that one. It is good to see such zest for life restored. Thank you, all of you.
Varys is going to speak up and say, this might seem like maybe not the best timing, but that's not really what I'm good at. But while we were out on our journey, I have, and I think my party members have too, have learned some new skills. And one of the skills that I've learned, I could really use maybe a little vial of holy water to help us on the rest of our journey. Could you spare a little bit?
Yes, of course. It seems that the Burgomistress Ireena understands our need for holy water and has supplied me with some silver. I have 3 vials. You are more than welcome to them, Varys.
I walk up and I look at her and honor him. And I say, this artifact, can anyone use it? Only cleric types, holy people? Who can use this?
I believe the name, the Wizard's Heart, is simply the name. It is named so because of its creator. It seems he wanted to instill a powerful life force into this land through this gem. I would recommend caution when using it, but I believe anyone can use it.
I say, may I see it? You need to rest for a little while before you continue.
Yes.
I may need it for a short time.
Here you are.
I take the wizard's heart. I say, you rest. We have much to do. We'll be back in touch before we leave because a lot is happening fast.
Of course.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
My pleasure. With that, gentlemen, may the Morning Lord always light your path. May you always be protected for all the good you've already done, and all the good I know you'll do. She tiredly limps into the living quarters of the church, closing the door behind her quietly.
All right. Look at everybody go. I know we want to go home, and I know we need to talk to Ireena, but there's somebody else that we can help, and I'm willing to take the risk to do it. May we go to the Walkers next? Stella. Maybe if we can heal that, we can heal this town a little bit.
Do any of us have the abilities to do that, even with this artifact?
None of us can? I look it over at Honorim. Oh. Well.
That would have been more of a Thomas thing.
It would be a Thomas thing?
DM, just a refresher. We did when we spoke to Victor. It turns out it was a botched modify memory spell. Correct?
That's correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was trying to. He was basically freaking out. He didn't want anyone to know what he was trying, and he was worried that she'd, see she saw his skeletal cat and be like, "Oh my God, you're a necromancer," and that would not be good.
Well, let's see what happens. She needs rest anyway. I go, gentlemen, I believe we really need to talk to Miss Ireena.
Still staring at the door that Mother Lucia left through.
We cannot ask her to heal the bones as well.
I take that bracelet of endurance, or I kind of hold it, and I show it to him, and I go, "This helps with some of the price she's paid. I will give it to her."
Leave the bracelet for her to pick up?
Well, it kind of, yeah. Well, before we talk to her again, I'm not going to just leave it somewhere. I'm going to keep it with me for now, but yeah.
Ireena.
And yeah, we're going to go to the mansion.
Okay, guys, head over to the Burgomaster's mansion. Well, now the Burgomaster's mansion.
Hey.
This is going to be a fun conversation.
Find that.
I'm sure she's gonna love this.
Indeed.
We didn't have enough fucking problems. And I can't help but wonder, is he even telling the truth?
Unfortunately, I have to get to know him better to be able to determine his games.
I guess I can't stab him from over here.
Like I said, I have to be close to him, as close as possible. And no, I don't like it.
Wait a minute. We're talking about
Yes. Yes.
He beat a dragon to death with his bare hands. What is it you think we can do?
Well, I
Kick them
won't
to
know
dust
until I
with
get
my
close.
bare hands.
I won't know until I get close.
As you guys walk through the city, you definitely notice a very different air. It's a lot less lively than any other city on the outside, but it is pretty lively. People are walking. You don't see people avoiding the guards so much anymore. You don't see any stocks. Stocks, okay?
Stocks, yeah.
Yeah, stocks. You don't see any of them, and you even see a few people smiling, and people occasionally you recognize people wave or tip a hat or nod with a smile. People are aware of the great company, and you are very well liked. Alrighty. By the time you guys arrive, at the Burgomaster's mansion, it is about noon 30. Let me get y'all in there. Oh, wrong one. Come on, Roll20. You can do it, buddy.
Yeah, on a 1.
No, I don't think I will. Is what it says. Well, okay. I'll just use this. Okay, arrive at Burgomaster's mansion. There we go. And let me put your tokens out. Sorry, actually, do correct me. Was that the Vactor's mansion or the Burgomaster's mansion?
Burgomaster's.
Burgomaster's, okay. Bean and Ptarmigan.
Mm-hmm.
You guys arrived to find a lot more relaxed location. You see some guards outside. A couple of them, the 4 of them are chatting amongst each other. You can see they're all in the new unified guard uniform. The door is open, and you guys can smell cooking coming through. Guards nod to you in a friendly sort of way. It seems they recognize you.
Kind of nod and smile back.
For context. Nothing, go ahead.
You here to see the Burgomistress?
Yes, Miss Ireena has, well, we have more to tell her. And I just laugh.
Well, she has a visitor, if you take my meaning. She's with him in the back, in the gardens.
I will discreetly, and well, not discreetly, I'll make my presence known from a distance before I go barging in, but it's important I talk to her. And I just kind of laugh.
Well,
Or
please.
knows she needs a break too.
Well, she did instruct us to send you to her as soon as you arrive. So she'd probably appreciate you going and seeing her.
All right. We'll be discreet enough. Thank you. And
Go
just
ahead.
don't relax
Say it
too
over
much. All right. Just don't relax too much. Things are
Yeah,
weird.
We will.
All right. So through the house or around the house?
Around the house is the direction you seem to indicate.
Okay. Beep. Beep. And Tarman is going to go cruising around the place. Oh, I've never been back here. Something new.
As you guys approach the back of the house, you guys can hear what seems to be a viol playing. You guys can see Ireena and another fellow sitting on chairs in the garden enjoying the day. The fellow seems to be playing a viol extremely well, and this is somebody that you guys in fact met before.
Recognize him. I'm
Yeah.
gonna ask him. I'm gonna yell out and say, "Oh, you know how to play the song called Wait?"
And for a moment he ignores it, and then finishes until he finishes the song. He then bows. Ireena smiles and gives a little joking like that. Very well done. The man who you guys recognize as Escher bows to her and then to you. My apologies, my good sir. I didn't quite finish my performance yet. You understand how it is. I had to finish. A song called Wait? No, I'm sorry. I'm not sure I'm familiar.
We all gotta finish sometime.
That is true. That is true. Miss Ireena, I can see that you have company. It would be above me. It would be below me to be so gauche as to impose myself right now. Please.
Look
forward.
He's...
He holds up a finger as you begin to talk, Tarmogen. Please, I look forward to seeing you again. And with one smooth motion, he picks up a hand and plants a kiss on it. You guys actually see Ireena blush a little as she kind of all right, off with you, Escher, you pest. He chuckles and winks to you, Tarmogen, and saunters away.
The whole time, Zareen, I'm just staring at him like cold-faced killer, not blinking in the eye.
Completely ignores you. You get the feeling he is making a point of ignoring you.
Still need that guy murdered?
That as well.
Oh, he's shot.
Does not seem to have noticed that as she does. She watches him walk away. That kind of thing.
I literally just smile and shake my head.
How are you guys doing? She's blushing. You can see she wasn't expecting to be caught, in the middle of what seems to have been some sort of date. She moves her hand through her. Well, that was Escher. He's a fellow I've met recently.
I know who Escher is.
Oh, you already know each other. I suppose you're both outsiders, I guess you would in the circles. I'm always surprised by how many outsiders this city seems to have. Running around in Barovia.
Beware of him. Enjoy it if you will, but don't trust him.
It's Faye Lauren.
The smile kind of falls away a little bit. She narrows her eyes. What do you mean?
As our friend, Faye Lauren. He's been back here.
Faye Lauren? The unicorn? No, I thought he was with you.
Crap. He may be at headquarters, but that's not a good thing. I'd say Just, you're a target. Like I say, enjoy him if you want. Don't trust him.
We're throwing the bones, right? What's there to be afraid of?
Well, he wanted me to murder somebody for hire. That tells me there's an
Sure.
issue there. Oh, yes.
Who was it?
He wouldn't tell me because I wouldn't agree to it.
Oh. Well, that's certainly a damper.
I look at her and I go, and he said it's nobody from Vallaki.
Oh,
And that narrows my targets to ones I really don't want to kill. I look
well,
right at her.
Do you think it might have been Strahd that he meant?
He very well may have meant you.
Me? Well, that could make sense, but I mean, my guard's aren't around. She looks around herself, which kind of stupid of me, I know. I just don't see it. He would have had the opportunity to do so like 6 times over just today.
Which makes it even stranger.
It does.
Just
Look, I don't
be
like
wary.
talking about this.
No worries.
I know he seems like a pest, but he's been very nice to me and very accommodating. And honestly, it is nice to not just be treated as, Miss Burgomistress and that. He helps me forget about all the new concerns that I have to deal with. I'm going to ask him about it, but I'm sure he has a perfectly reasonable explanation. He genuinely seems like a good person to me.
I think
I've
he
been
likes
wrong
you.
too.
Well, she tosses her hair back a little bit. What's not to like?
Well, this is going to get sticky. Nevertheless,
I wish Ismark was here so I could rub his face in it. I hope he has a wife or at least a girlfriend by now.
you can ask him yourself.
Oh,
Yeah, about that.
is he here?
No. You know that invitation to dinner with Lord Strahd Van Zurich that we've been ignoring?
Fuck no. I'm not going.
Well, then you'll miss your brother because he's already there.
Ismark is there?
So he
Ismark
says.
is there.
Strahd has him.
Strahd says it's of his own free will. Take that as much as you can believe it.
He's obviously lying. Why would Ismark ever be there? What? He's obviously
don't
lying.
know. I shrug and say, just saying what he said. So,
How soon can we go?
we need to rest and recover from the road. And I think after that, we go.
Fine.
He said the road to Ravenloft would be open for us. And it's high time you met these werewolves. They're on the way.
I still wish we didn't have to make that deal.
Yeah.
My gut tells me it's a bad decision.
Well, we have to go and run a few errands. What I want you to do is write 10 decrees upon your death to hunt down those werewolves. And that's it. Hand them out to 10 people randomly.
I have
Only to be
you
opened.
already beat. Don't worry. That was
Okay.
one of the first things I was told I should probably do is after I was settled in is I'm probably choosing Victor as my next in line.
Okay. But
Not me.
I'm so sorry, Rugal. I should have. But I figured,
You should be.
you're a traveler and an adventurer. I didn't think that you'd be interested in the position. I'm so sorry.
We all
It's-
make mistakes.
Hopefully, by the time we're back from dinner, within a day or two, we can hope the city's protection will be restored to the extent that it works.
Hopefully. I
Um,
spoke to Mother Lucia about this. She raises fingers to her neck. It's not been hurting as much lately. Although it still aches when I wake up.
The journey is going to be rather risky. Be prepared.
I will be. I'm hoping, let's see if Isaac even lets me go. I'm probably going to have to chain him down.
I don't think even he has a choice in this.
No, he does not.
I look to everybody.
To drag my brother out of whatever trouble he got himself into. Are there any preparations you need to make yourselves?
We need to rest, free from nightmares.
Of course. It's been so good not to have to deal with those anymore.
Let us hope that.
Thanks to you.
Let us hope Valeran is at our headquarters. I grow worried.
Not to mention our prisoner.
All right, you go and check. I obviously have some preparations to make. I'll see you tomorrow morning.
Fantastic, Miss Ireena. Thank you.
It's good to have you guys back. Though I wish your news was better.
Good news, Barovia.
You're right.
Never happens.
She enters her mansion.
I think it's time we check home.
I hope Sir Lauren's back there.
Me too. And head back up front to find my horse and see what home's looking like.
Okay.
Is our house is the
Oops,
Oh,
didn't mean to move you guys. Okay. Let me see. Yeah, I didn't mean to move you guys. My apologies.
That's right.
Alrighty, you guys ride in on your horses. You find your 3 guards in the middle of a card game of some sorts. As you guys, their bosses arrive, they hurriedly toss the card down and get back up.
I just kind of hold up my hand. Relax, guys. Valeran, did he come back?
They look amongst each other. No, Master Talmagen, we thought he was with you. He left with you all a few days ago.
Yeah, we had to send him running home for his safety, but we knew it was a risk. He may not have made it.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. The horses were fond of him.
There hasn't been any rumors of a giant white horse running around, has there?
No, none that I have heard.
Shit.
Perhaps he got lost.
Wait.
He's some sort
I
of
have the
weird
rug.
ghost creature from another land. Yes, perhaps he simply got lost in the mists, and he might be back any day now.
In fact, I'll pull out the enchanted rug and try to use it.
Yeah, you see, well, you pull out the enchanted rug, you see that there's no longer a unicorn on it. Like, there wasn't a unicorn on it ever since you summoned him.
Oh, I didn't realize.
Nice rug, dude.
Right now, it's
Wow.
just a very nice rug from the looks of it.
Wow.
Does it tie the room together?
It does, actually.
Okay, so do we know anyone who can scout in the woods nearby? DM, how long was it roughly from the last place we camped to Vallaki? We saw, because we camped in the same place, like the tower, roughly.
How long
Okay.
it's been?
Oh, no, like how long does it take to get there? Like a day or two? I'm trying to figure out when he should have been back.
Well, the tower, you guys didn't lose him at the tower, I don't think, did you?
No, it was before
No,
the tower. Or right
it was
at
before
right
the
around there
tower.
though. It was in that
It was
area.
that area.
In other words, how long has elapsed since he left? How long has he been missing? Is what we're trying to figure out.
Let me see. I'm gonna have to
Like
dip it
2
in the
days.
channel.
Yeah, it's like he should have gotten back like the next day. So it's been at least a full day, if not 2.
That's not good.
Let me see. It was after that.
I think
Wednesday.
it's been like way more than that.
Okay, I think it was yeah, there we go. Friday, 8 a.m. Is when he you guys sent him back to Vallaki. It is currently Sunday at
Noonish, 2ish.
like 2 p.m. It's currently Sunday, 2 p.m.
So it's been like he's 24 hours overdue, basically.
He's dead.
Probably. But Darmagen's rubbing his head and he goes, I know we've messaged people. How did we do it? I know we had the sending stones for Octavio.
Yeah,
Wasn't there?
Sending stone for Octavio and Lysa.
And I look at Honor and I go,
I'm gonna try something. Just because this world is so bizarre ever since I was thrown into this place. And we're both Fae, so I'm just going to kneel down and try to have a thought try to think of another fake. I can't imagine there's another fake creature here, and just try to feel if I can get any kind of sense of where he might be.
As you attempt to extend your awareness in this manner. But that was usually the wherewithal of rangers and druids and those much more attuned to the beat and breath of life that those such as yourself, unfortunately, that tended not to that never quite you never quite took track with it. And though you try to recall those lessons of your youth, Varys, go ahead and give me a wisdom check.
Wisdom check. Wisdom check. I think I may have hit the wrong button.
That's a save. All right.
Yeah, so
19. Okay. Varys. You don't feel anything as you're waiting for 2 minutes, 3, 4. For a moment, you think you feel a flutter of fear that doesn't originate in your mind or heart. It's so momentary that it's almost might be something you imagined, but you're not sure.
I'll just say to the group, I tried. I can't be confident of whether he's still here or not. Hopefully he is.
Ugh.
If anyone knows what's happened in these wilds, it'll be the werewolves, and we have to go talk to them anyway.
Maybe you took him to Castle Ravenlock.
We're
so
going
he
there
could drink his
too.
blood.
I mean, it
He already
sucks.
took his horn.
But think
Yep.
about it. If he wants to drink his blood, and he is a rare and exotic creature to him, why would he do it all at once?
This may have to be a solution. Well, we're going to have to just hope for a solution to present itself. But I think here and now, the poor creature is on his own.
I'll do everything I can to figure it out, but we still have to do what we have to do now. We don't leave till morning. I think we should go to Madame Mafelda's.
Sounds good.
I've never met this Madame Mafelda.
Oh,
What does she do?
oh, she has a fun shop with all kinds of goodies in it.
She has expensive magical items.
She's very expensive and she's very, well, I would say slow. She would probably say methodical at what she does.
And she
I
favors
wouldn't mind giving that a
lady
look.
Anyway,
feud
that
with
does
it.
remind me. Varys, I believe. You commissioned something from her, didn't you?
Mm-hmm.
I did. I'm about to commission something else too when we get there.
Your guards look a bit helpless. Well, we got your home here safe and sound if you wish to rest for the night, sirs.
Just stay sharp. Watch for a shady little guy creeping around, kind of like casing the joint out. He seems to be very interested in our comings and goings. Don't do anything. Just pay attention if you see him.
There was that Escher fellow. It was really nice. He got us old beers. But you can't even get any alcohol in town right now, anything at all. But he had beers for us and just chatted, played a few rounds of cards. Lost quite a bit of gold too. He just wanted us to, let him know when you guys are in town. I think he wants to talk to you about something.
Yeah, I saw him just a few minutes ago.
Oh,
Recovered.
Wait, what about our prisoner?
She's at the church.
Is she?
Yeah, look, you guys
Yeah, Loretta.
over to Mother Lucia.
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll pick her up before we leave in the morning.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Now we're covered. I look at the guys and go. Enjoy the card game. Just stay frosty. Stay sharp.
Yes, sir.
And but relax. This is a long fight.
Yes, sir. Looks a little bit concerned at that. With that, you guys leave, and where would you guys like to go?
Before we leave, as Fisk passes the guards, he kind of stops and looks over at them.
If they had nightmares.
No, sir. No more nightmares for a couple days now. Yeah, no more nightmares.
Good.
I look to the rest of the group.
Home is safe.
You know,
We sleep in our own beds.
yeah. No, some people say it was the old Bogo master what did them.
No, that's all of Barovia. Vallaki's just the luckiest.
Right you are, sir. Right you are. Right. These guys get on your horses. Where would you guys like to go?
We're gonna go riding up. I say we take the route on that main road past the Blue Water and then go on down to Madame Mafalda's, because that's kind of on the way or after that.
So you guys are headed to the Blue Water?
We're just gonna go by the Blue Water as we go to Madame Mafalda's.
Okay.
Just kind of eyeball it,
As you guys
watching for our
pass-
tail.
As you guys pass the Blue Water, you hear some cheering coming from inside. Cheering coming from inside. It's hard to understand what it says, but it sounds like two names are being cheered. Those of you with high, I'll say everybody with perception of 13 and above can hear the names are Vasilov and Bassoon.
Well, we know where Bassoon found his way to. Just kind of laugh.
How much do you want to bet that he ends up back in the sick bed? On this card?
Well, it'll just be a headache and instead of a dark demonic wound.
I wonder who stroke he is.
Alrighty. Now you guys are headed towards Madame Mafalda's.
Mm-hmm.
As you pass by the stores, you arrive at Madame Mafalda's teeny tiny little shop.
We get off. I say, hold just a moment. And I grab Zareen. I run over to the Silver Cloak.
Ah!
And I say, how much to get her ready for a formal dinner we need to pick her clothes up in the morning.
You see the middle-aged woman who is very well dressed and has a beauty spot right here. Kind of looks Zareen and you up and down. Hair I could probably do for about 65 if you're looking to be acceptable. 80 if you want to be the talk of the town.
I reach into my pouch and I go, I haven't got time to talk. And I put 150 gold on the counter.
See,
And I go, add it to our tab if it's opened up high.
Let's see what that can do.
So well, I'm trying to jump in here. Before Ptarmigan puts the money down, I want to stop him. I reach into my backpack and I pull out the noble drow woman's dress that I was wearing when they found me and ask, could you perhaps fix this and clean this up?
What is this you're letting aside?
If you remember the backstory when I left I was wearing a drow woman dress.
Oh, your old dress. Well,
old dress, but it was all fucked up from being in a crate for 2 weeks.
She'll look at it and she'll I've never done it. I'm not quite sure what this material is.
I put the gold back on the counter anyway, and I say, match your style. Make it look as good as you
do
can.
Something about it.
New, old, whatever. Just make it sharp.
Of course, I'll see what we can do.
He looks over at Ireena and goes, this is what we do. We are the Grey Company. We are going to look good when we do it.
Yorick! I see the Vallaki, She's calling someone in the store, it seems. She's quite happy. As she measures Zareen quickly and seems to set out to walk. Alrighty.
Dress shopping is what's up.
Anything else, gentlemen?
No, that's it. Now the magic shop.
Okay, magic shop time.
Sorry,
Guys,
just
let's
had
get
to
into
do
the
that.
magic shop. You guys see Madame Falda consulting this rotating planetarium of hers with a very serious expression. I don't know why Fisk has a sleeping symbol on him, but I changed that.
Madame Mafalda.
Oh, hello. It's been a little while since I've seen your gentleman darken my doorstep.
Mm-hmm.
She doesn't seem
How you doing?
particularly happy to see all of you.
I think you were going to be working on something for me. How's the progress?
Well, I believe I've already finished the project you've commissioned me to do.
Excellent. Can I try them on?
Certainly. One moment, please.
I'm gonna move in, and I'm trying to look at this contraption and make heads or tails of it.
This is about the strangest thing you've seen in your life. You have had some rudimentary education about the planets and planetoids, but these don't seem to resemble any of them. Some of them are large, some of them are small as a marble, and some of them aren't even round. Some of them are spiral. And Talmadge, a couple of times you swear that some of these things literally pass through each other in a sort of blink and you'll miss it kind of way.
I go
down into this chest. And then pulls out a pair of braces. Oops. There you are, and I hope they'll serve you well.
Varys is going to take the bracelets and look at them, and he notices that there's a little bit of a smudge on one of them. So, can we get this polished up a little bit? I spent quite a bit of coin on these.
It looks perfectly clean to me. Perhaps if you washed your hands more often, your things wouldn't be smudged when you touched them.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And he'll rub on a little bit, put them on, and nod to her and say,
they feel very comfortable, Varys.
Yeah. Okay. Well, thank you, madam. I hope you enjoy the payment as much as I will hopefully enjoy these.
I've donated it.
Suit yourself. And he'll walk over here towards Ptarmigan.
I just kind of go, I can't make heads or tails of this. Anybody familiar with what this thing is?
Look over to Honor him. Honor him, what you got? Get over here. You gotta check this out.
Yeah, head over there.
Anrim, go ahead and give me an Arcana check. $25. Yeah, you have no. I'm kidding. Yeah, you know exactly what this is. This is a planar planetarium. This is used to track the relative movements of the planes in relation to each other, as well as to check to see if anything goes wrong or if anything strange happens. Your master had exactly one very similar to this one. As you're observing it, you can see as a fist-sized marble is slowly rotating and passing through other planes. And as it does, you see the other balls. It takes a few rotations, but you can see how small, teeny tiny white dots pop up here and there on orbs it happens to pass through.
Is this just Honorim seeing this, or is it everybody?
No, all of you can see this, okay. But Honorim's the only one who knows what this is.
So you seem to not be surprised at this. What is this thing showing us, Mr. Wizard?
My master had one almost identical, slightly different. And I'll explain what it is, what it does.
All right. I look at him, I go, well, I'm from the Sword Coast, generally. Where would that be in here on this contraption?
We'll look at it. Do I see our plane?
Well, it wouldn't really show you the Sword Coast. It's not like a globe. But you looking around to see a blue and green marble one that you would know at the center, that you would know symbolizes the material plane. As you're watching, you can see like the white fist-sized one passing through it and leaving a few white dots on its surface. Very, very small ones, but you have pretty sharp eyes on them.
It's almost as if the white one is infecting the others as it passes through.
I say, give me a second. Madame Mafalda, could you come here? And I asked Arnorim to step back for a moment.
She was listening to your conversation. I wanted to hear your opinion, sort of thing. She doesn't hide it or anything. You can tell it from her face.
I go,
Yes.
Miss Mafalda, where are we on this? Madam, I am so sorry. Madam Mafalda, where are we on this? Gadget?
We are here. She points to the small white fist one as it makes its strange undulating journey through empty space.
I point kind of, from safely to the one that Honorim had pointed out. Not there. Not on that one.
That is the prime material plane. This is Barovia. This little white bugger.
Huh. I glance back at Honorim. I'm like, we're royally screwed.
Were you unaware that you are no longer on the material plane?
Hadn't occurred to me.
Well, in that case, welcome to the reality of the rest of us.
It's good to know.
There's no going back, I'm afraid, although you are more than welcome to start a life here like you've already done. Although do try to kill less of my friends, if possible.
I actually am making an ongoing concerted effort not to do that.
I appreciate that. I do miss mine and Fiona's Sunday's tea.
Well, I'm going to try and help her daughter, at least, as an atonement.
That is a noble place to start. I'm afraid I've tried to help the poor girl, but I simply have no idea what spell was used on her.
It doesn't matter. I have something that in the right person's hands can help her, but I need to find the right person.
Well, it is my hope that you will be. If I can do anything to help poor Stella, do let me
I will. But there is something I need much more immediately. We all do. And I kind of wave everybody over.
Showers?
That too. For that, I apologize. Gentlemen, we need to learn how to spy and how to locate and how to see and assume that everybody else is doing the same to us. And I take out another 50 gold. I'm going to go broke quick in this game. I hand it to her and I say, school's open. We need a teacher.
She'll put it back in your hand. I'm sorry, but if you wish for me to teach you the art of wizardry, you are looking at...
Just the information, what we need to watch out for, what we need to do so that we can pursue it ourselves. Not in depth.
It seems to me that you already know what to do. Keep aware. Be paranoid. Watch out for... and watch out.
All right. I guess that's all I needed. I thank you.
You're quite welcome. Now, please, if that is all for today, I was in the middle of recording today's movement of the planes.
Step out of her way.
Thank you. Good day, gentlemen, and enjoy your new braces, Mr. Vance.
Thank you.
You can see that she's very practiced at ignoring people as she's simply recording things in her notebook with her back to you.
That was less than illuminating, but okay. I just kind of chuckle.
I think with that, gentlemen,
Yeah.
we are a little bit over time. We'll end tonight's session of Curse of Star here.
Oh, it
Thank you
gets
all for
interesting.
coming.